All right. Down to example A. It says when evaluating and simplifying expressions, you can apply the properties of exponents and then write the answers without negatives or zero powers. So we want to leave out our negatives and our zero powers. You can always remember to use the commutative property to group your items, remember? We want to apply any exponent rule that we've learned, the zero product, I mean, yeah, zero power, negative power, the product of a power, and the quotient of a power. Okay, so we want to apply all of those things and remember to write our final answer with no zeros and no negatives. Okay, here we go. Again, I'm going to do this on another piece of paper. So I'm going to do A was 2 a squared b to the negative third power times 5ab. Now remember, we want to group our items together. So we're going to do 2 times 5, a squared times a, and then we got b to the negative 3 times b. All right, I got products of powers with like bases. We're going to start off with this 2 times 5 is 10. Remember, we got to put our understood one there's. Ooh, and here. Ooh, almost forgot it. So we've got a to the second power plus 1. Because when we multiply, we add. We got negative 3 plus 1. Well, let's kind of clean this up a little bit. What is 2 plus 1? 3, right? What is negative 3 plus 1? Ooh, negative 2. So, I cannot leave this in my final answer. We don't want those negatives. Remember, negative b to the negative 2 is like saying 1 over b to the positive 2. Okay? Well, the problem is we already have something up there because not all of it's going down, just this part is going to the numerator position. So we would leave this as 10a cubed divided by b to the positive 2. Because ultimately this would say 10a cubed times 1 over b squared. Well, we already know that 10a cubed times 1 is 10a cubed. So we can simplify it in the simplest form would be this 10a cubed. 10a cubed over b to the second power. Let's take a look at our next one, b. B says 10 x squared y negative 4 over 5 x to the negative 3 y to the negative 1. We're going to group these in pieces. We've got 10 over 5 times x squared over x to the negative 3 and y to the negative 4 over y to the negative 1. Okay? 10 divided by 5 is 2. We've got 2. Since these are being divided, we subtract. Remember, we always start with our numerator. Numerator minus denominator. Same thing goes here. We're dividing. So base, numerator, minus denominator. All right, let's take a look at what we got. 2 minus a negative 3. I just want to make sure with all those minuses and negatives, I get this right. It should be a positive 5. Okay, so we have 2x to the 5th. Now, let's talk about this. Negative 4 minus a negative 1 is a negative 3. Oop, can't have zeros or negatives. I got a negative here. Remember, we're going to take this and move it down to the denominator. So we got 2x to the 5th over y, but make this now a positive because you moved it to the denominator position. So that's 2x to the 5th over y to the 3rd. I'm going to go ahead and get another piece of paper out because I obviously don't have enough space to write C, especially with as big as I'm writing here. So let me go ahead and move this page out, and I'll put this paper down, and we'll work through C and then be done with this lesson. All right, this one says negative 3, x, y, negative 5 to the 0 power. Anything. Could be 5,000, could be 500, could be 20, could be 0, could be y, it could be x, it could be anything. Oh, sorry, take that back, can't be 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. All of this inside the parentheses is being raised to that 0. 1. That was probably the easiest problem there was. Simply 1. You may wrap up this lesson. Make sure you get your notes written down.